Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of A Happy Moment. My name is Dan, and I'm glad to have you with me today. Today, I have a very special guest. She is a mystic intuitive, among many other things. Please welcome Audrey Arbe. Hey, Audrey.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Dan, for having me here. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And Audrey, I mentioned that you're a mystic intuitive, but you're other things as well. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I'm in Costa Rica now, and one of the things I've been doing for a while, I'm an artist, and I am a mystic intuitive. I'm a clairvoyant. I write books. Well, not right now. I've written four. No, wait. Yes, I've written four books so far and started about two or three others, I have to say. Uh, and I have three online courses and others. And one of the things I love to do, I'm an artist, so I like to paint, obviously, and I'm a healer. That's like primary among all this stuff, and that's the phone. And my why I'm on the earth, in addition for my own growth, is to upraise frequency. When I was a kid, my language was very simple. It was to make things better. So that's part of why I feel I incarnated in the first place. And what I'm doing now, I love these, so I'm going to show them to you. These are frequency stones. They
Oh,
start out as rocks because I'm in Costa Rica. We have rocks, either on the beach or on the street or wherever. I'm in the area where they definitely are. Here's another one. So I paint these, and part of the purpose is I'm not sure how many people know that when you have something beautiful, beauty itself will change our frequency. It can literally shift the way our brain is wired to a higher level. So I'm into that a lot. And because the way the earth is right now, I'm going to say this very nicely. It's very important that as many of us as possible keep raising our frequency higher, 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 higher. And the more I'm learning about quanta and quantum theory and all this stuff, the more it's sort of dovetailing with metaphysics. So it's like physics and metaphysics kind of coming very together. And if we don't, no, let me phrase it differently. So the frequency stones are actual, they're rocks. So when you have a rock, my friends who call themselves the first people, some call it Native American, but they're not, they're pre America. So first people, they call the rocks the old ones because they've been here. How long have rocks been here? A long, 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 long time. So they're very grounded, literally. And I found them on the ground. And so I'm painting them and I meditate and I pray and I do all kinds of positive things. So because they're so pretty and beauty alone shifts our frequency higher, including changing somewhat how we're wired to a higher level, I love it. So this way you get beauty, which is beauty. You get something that can help you ground. It helps something to help one center, and with what's happening on the earth right now, being centered is really, really, really important because it takes something to be centered. And I do breathing attunements and I do many other things to be centered because I need it also. I'm not exempt from this. I'm part of the everything. I'm part of all of it. You're part of all of it. We're all part. We are the multiverse. With the multiverse isn't out there, it's everywhere. It's all of us. So now,
Audrey, can you tell us what exactly is a mystic intuitive?
oh God, how do I explain it? People ask me that. So I'm born and I think a certain way. And to me, it's normal because it is, at least to me. And what I didn't know when I was a little kid, that it's called a mystic, or I can feel, sense, see, know stuff before many other people. Um, Either I feel it, I sense it. It's many different kind of ways. And intuitive, I'm born an intuitive. I'm also luckily born intelligent. So I've got both of those eyes, the intelligence and the intuitiveness. And as a kid, I was born in Brooklyn. And if anyone doesn't know, that's New York. And so I was born in Brooklyn. And I remember as a little kid, I was born a while ago. I'm in my eighth decade. I'm a mere 82 at the moment. And I say that because we're capable of living way longer than most people live. The guides told me that years ago. I didn't want to share it at the time because I didn't want people going woo woo and all that, because I have heard more than enough of that in my life. And I would sit on the stoop, that's what we called it, and look at people as they were going by. And I would see how they looked, what their facial expression was. I could feel their energy because I could do that, okay? And I would wonder what had happened to them. What had they not dealt with? Or what had hurt them so much? And I'm a kid. I'm a kid. I was, we weren't allowed out to do that, maybe 6, 7, certainly younger than 8, because we moved from Brooklyn when I had just turned 8, so I was younger than 8. And I just do this, and I would feel it, I would see it, I would sense it. I remember when I was 10, which is not such a little kid anymore, okay, that's adolescent. I'm the firstborn of 3. I have sister, then, well, did have sister and brother. And I say did have because my sister passed in July, and this is September, so it's not even 2 months. And I noticed with my brother, who at the time was 5, because if I was 10, he was 5, that sometimes he would do whatever it was, and my mother would reprimand him in a particular way, and then he would do the same kind of whatever it was a little later, and she would do a different approach to him, and I could sense his confusion. And then maybe a few hours later, he would do it again. He's 5, okay, he's a kid, okay, and she would again do something else, and I felt his confusion. So I thought I would be of help, because I like being of help. And I do not recall my exact words with her, but I do know there was something to the effect of she was giving, I didn't use these language, I used simpler language, but she was giving different behavior responses to a particular thing he was doing, and he was getting confused. He didn't quite know what was expected. This is part of being a mystic intuitive, because I could see it, I could feel it, I could sense it, it was obvious. She got mad at me. She did what these days we would call invalidate. And like, what do you know? You're only a kid, blah, 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 blah. So sometimes, I mean, I love being what I am. Please understand that. And now it's popular, okay? When I was a kid, was not, wasn't even part of the vocabulary. It was not, okay? It was a completely different time in many, many ways. And so, if anybody here, and I know you all do, have intuitive abilities, use them. Be proud of them. Develop them. They are all needed. And I've done enough readings over the years with enough people to know there are gifts and talents we don't even have words to describe. I have seen talents in some of my clients. I had to talk around it to be able to even to describe to the person who had the talents what they were and urge them to develop them. We need every kind of talent possible, especially for the days upon us. And so, being that, I use it. Was it honored when I was little? Not particularly. But then my family just didn't, they were regular people. I'm not so regular. I'm different. But I'm not different because now I know a lot of people like me, a lot. I have a friend, group, and I have clients and all this kind of thing. And now people study this, and there's workshops, and there's this, and you get courses, and you can graduate as this. It was not like that when I was a kid. No, not at all. Different. So be proud of that, as well as your intelligence, whatever it might be in. I mean, I'm not intelligent when it comes to gadgets and things like that. That's no. So people that I'm no. So people who are, that's a gift. Whatever one's talent and ability is, that's a gift. And we all have different gifts, so use them. They're needed.
Do you remember how old you were when you became comfortable using these abilities, and like when did you start offering them as services to people?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So I always, with people I was close to, they would ask my opinion about something, and I would give it or what I thought about something or other. And I remember I officially, when did I officially? How old was I? I might have been in my 20s. But I was hanging out with her. Then I was out of the house and I was living in the city. And when a New Yorker says the city, they mean Manhattan. So I was living in the city and I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and she asked me whatever she asked me. So I gave her a reading because it was a friend of mine. She went to her purse, opened it up, pulled out a bill. I think it was a 20. I don't remember what it was. Opened my palm, put the money in it, closed my hand, said, "You are now professional. You will charge." So what I did at first was I opened my hand, I'm giving the money back. So this is a good friend. She said, "No, no, 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 no. You are professional. You charge." And I have since then. More than $20. Do not expect a reading for $20. That is not going to happen. Just
Oh,
so you
darn
know.
it.
That's a no. There are specials on right now, but 20, no. No.
Well, since you bring that up, let's talk a little bit about your website that you have, which
Yes.
is Audrey Now, audreynow.com. And for those listening, Audrey is spelled Audrye. What kind of services do you offer on your website?
Oh boy. They're growing, by the way. So I do readings. I definitely do readings. I love doing readings. I do energy healings for fancy terms. If you want fancy terms, I'll pull out some fancy terms. I'm a light channel. And yes, you lift it and send. Okay, that was just me lifting my arms. That was not sending anything right now. But yes, we all can. And I teach that sometimes. And I have courses, the online courses. I recommend starting with the Morph course. You could start with any of them. And that one is Morph into the Magic of Self Love. And I spell it capital S, little s, ELF for soul, essence, self, and ego, personality, self, because we are all of it. And when people only operate from ego, they're not going to grow well. They get really stuck. Ego bumps into ego, bumps into ego. I'm right, you're right, right, right. That's ego. And we have to live our frequency. So that's course, I call it course number one, but people can start wherever they want. The next one is, I call it the sex course, and it's called Sexuality, Sensuality, Spirituality, Stupendous Sex, Your Intimacy Healing Exuberance course. And that's what it is. Because after I brought out the Morph course, and yes, I did it in person. It was before COVID. I was actually doing some workshops. Then, after that kind of got launched, I thought, okay, so what's needed now? So I looked around and it was obvious. It was the Me Too movements and all that. I said, okay, let's deal with sex. And so I wrote a course to help people heal from various different things. And I don't recall the stats right now, but it was humongous about how many women and men, different stats, have had some kind of, what word do I want to use? Sexual abuse that they have had. I mean, I've had my own, but I'm fine. Okay. I've had a lot of healing. I'm fine. But I've had my own yuck that I've had to live through. And I found out that women who don't need to have a C section and who have been practically forced because that's what their doctor wanted to do, because it was easier for the doctor, then afterwards felt really misused, abused, taken advantage of. So we deal with that stuff also. And yes, there's a little bit of how to in the course. I couldn't write a course on sex without some how to, and but it's not a how to course, a little bit, okay. And there's many different kinds of sexuality. and gender identifications. And I'm telling you now, when Pluto, who's just come back into Capricorn, it's going to get through that. And on November 19th, traipse back into Aquarius. And then for almost 20 years, we're going to have Pluto gallivanting through Aquarius. Neptune next year is going to go from Pisces into Aries. That is going to be interesting. And then the year after that, both in April, interestingly, what's the next one? Uranus is going to go from Taurus into Gemini. There's going to be I don't know, a massive change. There's going to be a lot of changes in the way people behave and act and react to each other. So it's going to be particularly important to know how to do these things. So will there be changes? Yes, yes. Um, so I wanted to have, so the other stuff you can get. Oh, sorry, on my website is the courses. I have, how many books do I have? I have 4 books. This is the only one in print. What if you are and life is miraculous? It's an ABC affirmation art coloring book. Ta-da! And I don't know, can you see it?
Yeah, raise it up a little
And
bit
this
higher.
higher. Is that better?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
And this is printed on 100% post-consumer recycled paper. So it's more expensive than $2 because there's no way it doesn't cost that. However, we saved 8 large trees in our first printing. Now the book is an ebook. And the first book I wrote is The Mother's Manual, a spiritual and practical guide to child rearing and motherhood. And there's also about 20 smaller books that make up the whole book or the one big book. And then there's Vim Vigor Vitality Vegan, which gives you a clue about my lifestyle. And that one, the first part is about health and wellness, and the second is recipes. And then the last book, or at least the last one I brought out so far, is Raising Race Consciousness, Healing Racism, Sexism, and Other Isms. And that goes with the course of somebody registered for Ism Freedom. That's the course. Um, what is it? Ism Freedom Healing. No, wait. Getting free of the causes and effects of racism, sexism, and all the isms. So those are right now, you can get any of them. And in terms of the books, you can get a free sampler for any of the books. And on the landing page for any of the courses, whether it's the morph course, the sex course, or the ism course, Ism Freedom, be free of the causes and effects of sexism, racism, and other isms. On the landing page, I teach breathing attunements. I'm always doing that, so you can get that. And somewhere on, we're updating the website. I'm now in podcast, so there will be you can hear them all. I'm not sure how many we have now, 20, however many there are. You can see pictures of all of my art, even the ones that are sold. It'll say sold. And if you live in the States, I have art like flat art. Okay, art that's 5 feet by 4 feet, and people laugh when they see me because I'm 4'10". So yes, the art is taller than I am. Uh, and yes, I stood on a chair to do it because I couldn't reach. I mean, you can't know, and I have to, be there. And they're beautiful. They're abstract. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that because they came through me, but that's it. They came through me. It's not like I knew what I was going to paint before I painted. I had no idea. I meditate, lift my energy. I ask to paint something that's going to help transform people. Now and then I focus on a particular something, whatever it is at that moment. And these beautiful things emerge that I am doing. It isn't like I leave and I come back and go, what happened? No, I am very there, very much. But nonetheless, when it's done, I look at it and go, wow, like I never saw it before. So I'm in awe, to be upfront. So that's there. What else? You can get private sessions, you can get healings, you can get the books, you can get art. I am going to be, we're talking about this. I'm going to rev up. I used to do YouTube. I had a YouTube channel, and we're going to start a new one because I have a personal assistant who does that. I have ideas. I mean, I'm always with good ideas, but all that other stuff and technical, that is not my strong suit. So it's his, and he's brilliant,
What
and he's really cool guy, Eduardo. So that's some of what's on the website. Will there be more? Most likely. But right now, that's what's there, and it's evolving.
what's
And if
the
you
name of your
want more, let
podcast?
me know. Say again?
What's the name of your podcast?
We didn't start it yet,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
I don't want to give the name. I want to kind of hold it because I don't want
Sure.
someone else to say, oh, that's cute. I'll use it. No,
Oh, I
I'm
understand.
not saying it yet. No. Okay. I read where Greg Braden, one of his friends, someone wrote his thing. No, no, I'll keep, we should be getting it out. He has to go to Europe for a while, which we'll see, but definitely by the beginning of the year. If we can figure out how to do it, which I don't know how to do it if he's not here. I can't hold the camera, I can't know. So we'll figure that out.
Okay.
But yeah, I used
Aud-
to, years back, I did, this is going back a while, I did a live public access TV show in Manhattan. I was one of the very first that went live on public access. And what was my show about? Healing, growth, transformation. I mean, that's what I do. Okay. And that was called Aurora Borealis. And I won an award. I won
oh,
an
cool.
inspiration award. So, and then I didn't go after another one. I went for that. I said, oh, wow, I won. Yay. Yeah. And then I just let it alone.
Okay. So, Audrey, what do you mean exactly by breathing attunements, and what can people expect to get out of those?
Ah, okay. So breathing gives us energy. And when we really breathe with intentionality, we can slow our heartbeat, we can calm ourselves, we can balance the heart and the brain. Um, if people have not heard of the Heart Math Institute, HMI, really look them up. According to them, and from what I've read with Greg Braden, I really like Greg Braden's work a lot. The heart has a brain in it that is stronger and more intentional than the brain in the head. And when one breathes in a certain way, which I will teach you how to do that, they align. And then we are stronger. We're stronger mentally. We're stronger spiritually. And is that important? Now, very much so. Our intuition is stronger. So, one way to do that breathing, and it's only one of the ways, there's many, is you could inhale slowly to the count of 4, hold your breath gently for the count of 3, and exhale for the count of 6. Then, after you can do that, you could inhale, say, to the count of 5, hold again for the count of 3 or 4, and exhale slowly to the count of 7. The exhalation is a little slower than an inhalation. Do that for a minimum of 3 minutes, and you will start getting much more aligned. You do these things every day, one will balance one's energy. You'll feel stronger. You'll know how to be much more centered. And I'd love to do one of my favorite breathing attunements called the lifting process that I learned when I studied with Patricia Hayes, who's different from Louise Hay. And yeah, they're amazing. May I do that?
Yeah, it's something you can do right now. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Okay. So, folks, unless you're driving a car or you're on a motorcycle or on a bike or something like that, or you're cutting up food in the kitchen or anything like that, or watching a baby, do this. If you have to focus on what you're doing, such as what I just mentioned, focus on it. Because when you do this, your eyes will be closed and you're going to be involved in it. So pay attention to whatever is the reality in front of you if that requires that kind of attention. You can come back and listen to this podcast and watch it again and learn this, okay, and do it for yourself. So, what we're going to do, and I'm going to keep it short, but you can do it for a longer period of time on your own, is do, because I am a healer, I'm going to send healing energy first because I like to. If you don't want it, you can tell it to stay away and it will. If you want it, you simply allow it. And how does it know? Everything has consciousness, everything is alive, everything. This laptop computer, which I wish I could just talk to. However, maybe some point and it'll listen and this kind of thing. But everything has awareness, different levels, different frequency, but everything has awareness. Then I'm going to be repeating a few words. You're getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. You allow it. You don't force it. You don't make it. You don't go, am I doing it? I don't know. It's just a let go of all of that. Simply be in the space. Then I'm going to give you a couple of moments to just kind of be in the space and with your eyes closed, and then I will bring you forward. You'll hear little bells. Okay? So I'm
Okay.
going to take a moment to lift my frequency and then we will start. Thank you. I love doing this. I do it every day. And then it'll really get you more centered.
Okay.
And we
Do I
need
close my
that.
eyes yet?
This is, yeah, close them.
Okay.
You can take off your shoes. Just be very comfortable. Taking a nice, deep, gentle breath into your heart. Fill up with love, light, and protection. Hold and gently, slowly, softly exhale. Let go. Breathe in golden light into all the organs of your body. Your body knows if it's an organ, it's okay. And if it breathes it into your bones, that's okay too. Hold and gently, softly release. Breathe in golden light. Breathe into every aspect of who you are. Breathe it into aspects you may not even realize is part of who you are. Let it play with your energy. Let it uplift you. Let it protect you. Let it bless you. Let it let you know that you are safe. And gently exhale. Let go. And now breathe at your own pace. Know that you're getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. Higher, higher, lighter, freer. Allow this, enjoy this. You're safe, you're blessed, you're protected, you're well. You're getting higher and higher, lighter, freer, lighter, lighter, higher, freer, and centered and blessed. Allow the joyousness to fill you. Now, keeping your eyes closed, enjoy the energy. If you want, you may send healing to any aspect of your being or your life, and I will be with you very shortly to bring you forward. Now, keeping your eyes closed, as you feel ready, you may slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. You may slowly begin to move your hands on your wrists, your feet on your ankles. As you feel ready, you may gently begin to move and sway your body. You may gently pat your body. And again, keeping your eyes closed, you may gently begin to move your head on your neck. When you feel ready, hold your head above your neck, facing forward in a relaxed manner. And when you feel ready, you may gently, softly, and slowly begin to open your eyes. And when you feel ready to speak, first notice how you feel, and then share. How are you? How do you feel?
I feel relaxed.
This was a short process to get relaxed. If you do this every day, there are many other breathing attunements. This is my favorite. Okay, if you do it, I feel like I'm insulting others. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Okay, it all has consciousness. So I love you. Okay, so allow yourself. It gets you centered as you do it more and more. I used to feel my energy go puff, literally. You will really begin to feel, and this is all natural. Okay, there's nothing. It's totally natural, and you'll be able to do lots of stuff with it. Once you do it regularly, it becomes like the way you feel inside becomes your norm. It becomes your regular way. And then if there's anything that's particularly important or that you might normally have felt some kind of nerves about, and you do this beforehand, it's like preparation to go in centered, ready, uplifted, with a smile in your heart and on your face. So, my gift.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're
And
welcome.
when people are taking a deep breath, do you recommend that they inhale through their nose, or does it not matter?
You know, almost everyone says the nose, and I find I sometimes do the mouth, but it is usually better to do the nose. First of all, it'll filter stuff that might be in the air that you might not want in your body, just on a purely physical, quote unquote, purely physical level. But yeah, breathe in through the nose. And sometimes I exhale through the mouth, sometimes through the nose. It depends on the vibe I'm feeling, honestly, for me, like that. But keep it relaxed. This isn't, if you want like with a lot of energy, then we do Kabbalah and other kinds of breathing techniques. There are others that will really rev you up and energize. This is a more centering one, and it will energize. Interesting enough, years ago, I was told if you slow down, you'll get more done. Now from New York, slowing down, I'm okay, and I learned it's the truth. When you're centered inside, so it's calmer, one does get more done. And you can still, it's not like you can't, but it's different. It's a different energy and it lasts longer.
Very cool. Now, Audrey, you mentioned a little while ago that you are a vegan. How long have you been a vegan
Yes.
for?
All right. I get astounded at the numbers that I say. Okay. So you might see me laughing. I've been vegetarian for 51 years. And I've been mostly raw vegan for maybe now 25 years. And then I think about that 25 years. And then I think, well, you've been on the earth how many years? Okay. And then I laugh and then just go on because that's all it is. Okay. It's just the next. Um, I started because I'm into growing. And when I learned as a younger woman, what the word enlightenment meant, and that we, as members of this species, could actually attain enlightenment. I thought, that's for me. I want some. So I read about it, and then I had read that being vegetarian, they didn't have vegan then, at least I didn't find it, that being vegetarian was the most enlightened and highest energetic level way of being. So I began doing that. I started as an what's now called ovo-lacto vegetarian, which meant I was eating eggs and dairy products. I don't much now, very now and then a little bit of cheese, because in Costa Rica, I cannot find vegan cheese that I like other than one guy at the farmer's market, but I like a slew of them that you can, it's not raw, but, and I make some that are raw. So I don't always have that. That's why I'm mostly raw vegan and things like that. I am stronger. I am healthier. I feel really good. And now I know there are some people go, well, what do you eat? I'm in Costa Rica. I eat things, I make things with cacao. I can show you the pods. I have them in the other room. If someone has never seen a cacao pod, you might want to see what chocolate actually comes from. It's a pod and
Oh, okay.
gooey inside. And I use all of it. I do. And because it's all nutritious. And if you throw some away, we don't know what's in it. Most people go, what? I don't know. Ugh. And when I found out that the peel of a fruit and a vegetable, for the most part, has more nutrition than the inside, I would find ways to use it also. Because most people are throwing away the most nutritious part, which doesn't make sense to me. So little by little by little by little, I morphed into being raw vegan. Now it's mostly raw vegan. I make most of my own stuff. Not I eat nut butters. I don't make that. I use olive oil. I don't make that. Okay, or coconut oil. I don't make that. So those kinds of things I do not. But pretty much everything else. Eh.
Okay. Is is veganism very popular in Costa Rica?
Not where I live. I'm in the African Caribbean coast, um, and it's not so popular here. It's more popular in other areas. It's growing in popularity. At the feria now, we have one booth. They didn't let me have one yet, but maybe. They keep saying they're filled up. One, where they have some vegan stuff, like bits and pieces. One guy makes vegan cheese. And although I used to make it, I'm not doing it here. It's different. So I usually get some of his product. No, I mean, when I was in a place called Kawita and they said, you're a what? Don't you want some meat? No. Aren't you going to, don't you need it for strength? No. And I walk. I mean, I move. I'm not like, I can't move. No, I can, and I do. And that includes dancing. Okay, not just, oh, I'm laying here. No, I move. Okay.
Audrey, you got to tell me, what are the traveling nighties? What's that all
Oh,
about?
God.
I've been curious ever since we first started talking. You got to tell me about that.
So this goes back a number of years. Okay, so when I was a little girl, I loved my mother's nightgowns. She'd had them from when she got married. They were so pretty. Okay, and so at a certain point in time, she gave them to me because she wasn't wearing them, and I was a little, I couldn't wear them. And but they're so pretty. Okay, so I had them, and I treated them like precious diamonds. And so as an adult, I moved to Manhattan and I lived in the city. And I remember, I don't know what the heck happened, that I still don't know what happened. So one day I couldn't find them. I was looking for them all over the place. I just wanted to look at them, okay? And I had kept them in a drawer, which is where I kept them. I couldn't find them anywhere. Did you ever look for something and you went over it and you went and you looked and then you waited a while and you looked and it's like, what is this? It was driving me nuts. Excuse me. It was really annoying. Okay. And I couldn't find them anywhere, 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 anywhere. And so some time passed, and no, this was when I was in Florida, right? I was in Florida. I had moved from Manhattan to Florida, and I had kept them in a dresser drawer then, and I couldn't find them at all. They were nothing. And then I think it was a month or two had passed, and I was cleaning out. This was when I was cleaning out my Manhattan apartment because I wasn't going to be coming back. It's a whole long story. And yeah, because it was in, right. And then I was going to give away a bunch of things to certain people because I didn't need them. I had a lot of books on African this and African that, and I know Africans. And so I was giving it all away. And one guy went into, I had a storage closet. This is my New York apartment. And I got a vibe to go, it's one of the people like helping me clear out stuff because I had to get rid of a ton of books. So I was giving them away and all of this. And all of a sudden, I get a vibe and I look in. This closet had been locked. I had been renting this out. I don't know how it got locked because I didn't lock it, but then we opened it, went into this like closet in the back of what had been my daughter's room that nobody was using. And in that closet, in a carton, taking it out were the Nighties. Now, how did they get there? Nobody had gone into my house, either one. Nobody had been in those places. I did not do it. My daughter, who was nowhere in that area, had done it. So I call them the traveling Nighties. I have no clue how that happened. There's nothing I have ever read about quantum physics or quantum mechanics or any of this stuff that can give me any idea. And so then I took them back. Okay. Took them with me. I would check on them regularly. I had them hanging in my closet and would check on them. And when I came to Costa Rica, I gave them to my granddaughters because I wasn't going to wear them anymore. And these are keepsakes from their great grandmother because they were my mother's. So if you or anybody else knows how this could have happened, and no, I didn't forget. I didn't go into some, no, that's not what happened. I don't take whatnots and hoo-has, so that's not what did it. Nobody sneaked in behind me and went, no, 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 no. I don't know. So I call them the traveling Nighties. I have no explanation. None.
Sounds like there's some kind of entity out there playing a trick on you.
Well, I have had things happen that can't happen. So when people, I mean, I have, this was sort of extreme, but I've had stuff happen that you go, how did that happen? There's no explanation that I know how to give. Even what I'm learning about quantum realm. I don't see how that relates to the quantum realm. Okay, that they're here, they materialize, they dematerialize. So I know from personal experience like this that we do not always have any kind of even semi-rational explanation for certain things because I don't know how this happened. I literally don't know how. And I went over that house upside down, inside. No idea. And then it's found in a locked closet in a carton that nobody had ever put it in underneath other stuff. Nope.
How much time had passed from when you lost it to when you found it?
Couple months. Wasn't a long period.
Oh, that is
But it
very
was like,
bizarre.
OMG, yeah. It was like no explanation. I asked my friends when I was looking, because I have friends who are psychics, I would, because I am one. And so they said, one of them said they just seem to have disappeared into thin air. I thought, how did that happen? Blah, 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 blah. None of us know. Not a one. And we're talking some really good people. No idea. I actually wrote away at the time to Greg Braden to see if in all the things he said, nope, nope. I spoke with his assistant or whatever she was and said, well, he was doing whatever journey. There's no way he would know that either. So I no explanation from me because I don't yet know.
That is very strange. Audrey, uh, the website is audreynow.com. Do you have any social media links that you like to use?
I'm going to be updating it, but yeah, what is my? I think my YouTube, and I'm going to have a new YouTube. So whatever's on there is the older YouTube. It might be. I'm not sure. Audrey now, but if you do AUDRYENOW, it's usually me. If it's somebody that doesn't have fluffy hair, it's not me. That would be, I have two YouTubes, I have Instagram. We're updating all of it, okay?
Okay.
I am going to have a new YouTube channel, which I will give that. At some point, I'll have Pinterest because rocks. And I'm definitely on Facebook, but I don't really use it. Okay. If I read an article or something that I think is interesting, I post it. Do I look back to see stuff? Quite frankly, no. I should. I used to. I'm in the place of creating right now. So sometimes I catch up, sometimes not. But do I know a lot of people? I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. Best way to reach me is through the website because if I don't look at it, my assistant will and will let me know. And yeah, it's Audrey now, AUDRYENOW.com. And that's probably how you'll find me almost anywhere. The new name for the new show on YouTube is not going to be Audrey now, because that was the old name. So I'm not going to say Audrey now.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that. Or the new Audrey now. No, I'm not going to do
All right.
that.
Well, I'll put some links in the episode description to
Thank
help
you.
people find you. And Audrey,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming on. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you. This has been an absolute delight. Thank you so much, Dan. Thanks. Oh, people, after you find my phone number, I have a U.S. SIM card in my phone, so it's a local call. It's a local, and I'm on WhatsApp. It's a local call from, uh, well, several from the states to Costa Rica to reach me. It's local call. Thank
Okay. You give
you.
out your phone number?
Uh, I think so. Should I not? Do you have
Oh,
horrible
I don't
viewers? I
know.
think you
It's up to you.
at this point, my number is 917. You can tell I'm from New York. 917-494-0628.
Okay.
917-494-0628.
Okay. And people can give you contact you if like they're interested in setting up an appointment for a reading or things like that.
All of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And they're very real, and people grow and evolve from the work I do. And I love doing what I do, or I wouldn't do it. It's that simple.
Awesome.
That is part of the secrets, quote, secrets to going through the years and maintaining one's energy. You have to clear your issue. That's a whole other thing. But you do have to clear stuff along the way, or it will get to you. And that is for sure. And have I seen it? Yeah, I have. Very much.
Gotta stay positive. Audrey, thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming on.
Thank you,
And
Don. Dan. Thanks.
thanks to those of you for joining us. If you'd like to learn more about my podcast, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. Just search for a Happy Moment Podcast. And I will see all of you next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye.